Windrose are, of all things, an Italian dwarven-themed power metal band started in 2009. Their sixth studio album, Trollslayer, is just about to be released on the 4th of October, the same day that they go on tour all over Europe with Powerwolf and Hammerfall. Francesco Cavalieri is the singer and founder of Windrose, and he joins me today. Tell me a bit about your own musical journey. So, what brought you to heavy metal, separate from Windrose?
My passion starts from when I was a kid. I started to like, not super rock stuff or metal stuff. And let's say my favorite ones were Michael Jackson, Queen, stuff from the 80s, So I really was into that kind of stuff. And so I got a passion also for singing. And this passion made me realize when I was around 12, 13, that maybe I wanted to be a singer, no? Somehow. I mean, it was a very cool thing, for example, to start singing Linkin Park, when I was 12, or when I was 13, and discover this kind of world, because for me, everything here was new, and it was very strange also because I don't have any big brothers, so I had to discover everything by myself. So that's the thing. But I guess that is not a problem, no, at all, because I recovered with the knowledge and also with the album, artist, etc. So it's something that I always had in my chores. Let's say I always had music. I always had passion for music, and this was very important to me.
I can understand that. Not in regards to music, I am not a singer by any stretch of the imagination, but there have been several things in my life where the absence of kind of role models in that thing forces you to kind of find your own way of doing things. So
Exactly.
developing your own style and your technique, and it can be a very rewarding thing, but of course it's challenging.
Yeah, I mean it's something that I would never have imagined when I was a kid. It's something that came naturally, but random, no? So it was cool anyway.
The sound of Windrose has changed quite a bit over the years. Your
Yes.
debut, Shadows over Lothadrun, is miles from what you've been creating in recent years. In fact, at the beginning, you sounded closer to Blind Guardian or even the power metal era of Sonata Arctica. And you've moved into this more bombastic, kind of epic soundscape. What was behind this change? Is it in the sense of kind of you realize what worked for the listeners, or it was about realizing what worked for you?
No, what worked for us. It was about, realize that we wanted to do something. I mean, at the beginning, it was, as you said, more strange because it was more, let's say, progressive metal. The other guys really loved progressive stuff, and we had this kind of imprinting at the beginning, but we wanted to be more not mainstream, but to be more into the business. And in order to be in the business, you have to make some compromises, no? And one of the compromises that we had was for sure actually put some more power metal to our music style. And this brought us on a different path, on a different track. That it's the one that we realized it was the, like, for example, Wardens of the West Wind. It's our second album, and we there is more power metal, more folk metal in this kind of album. Why? Because we wanted to make it more easy listening, more even funny playing live. No, I mean, doing progressive metal sometimes is just for listening, so the people was not following us a lot. He was not participating a lot, and we wanted to make it more easy listening for them, for give also to the people more fun, more show. And this thing, it was very, very, very hard to understand, and it was a long process. With the second album, anyway, we made a song that was called "The Breed of Durin." So with "The Breed of Durin," we realized what was the sound actually that we wanted for Windrose, and I mean, thanks to it, we just found a real sound, no, the sound of Windrose, and we had the opportunity also to discover more and more what was the rabbit hole, no, that we were going, the path that we were trying to follow, and it was amazing.
Well, you mentioned the Breed of Durin from your second album, and indeed, that is when you also start to move towards dwarves as the theme of Windrose.
Yes.
What moved you into, in particular, the kind of J.R.R. Tolkien dwarven territory? Who was the Tolkien nerd? And I'm a Tolkien nerd myself. So, who wanted to move it in that direction? And was it, in your case, something that you were always moved by, these sort of high fantasy ideas?
Let's say that we were all, I mean, I'm a big gamer. I was not a super big Tolkien fan because I discovered Tolkien with Lord of the Rings, with the films, okay? Because it was 2001. In 2001, I was 12. So, I mean, I discovered him when I was 12, with the films. But I always had passion for medieval things, for fantasy things, and this kind of fantasy was reminding me a lot the medieval stuff, no, which is also part of my culture, my heritage, because I come from Tuscany, and everything around here is medieval. We have castles, we have a lot of stuff here in Tuscany, and I always loved it. So finding other people like me with my passion made me realize that I wanted to put also this passion and this stuff in my music. And I mean, for me, it was fantastic because I found guys like me. So it was very, very good.
Now, when we were discussing, you mentioned this issue of changing your music away from this more progressive stuff because not just obviously your own personal taste in music, but also because of the business of music. That,
Yeah,
this is a job. You need to be able to make a living out of what you're
for
doing.
sure.
And one of the things that you're doing, and where you've been very successful, is in your use of social media. In fact, I saw today, because I don't have a TikTok, that you almost have a 500,000 followers there, and that your music gets used a lot in that platform, but also on Instagram, etc. Has this popularity translated into focusing now on the business, on better sales of merch and music? Because I've met musicians and artists who have achieved some sort of viral status on social media platforms, but who end up in the kind of very weird place of being very famous without the financial reward that you would think you would get from that. So, has it actually helped you in your music business to have that sort of virality?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for us, the work that we have done on the social medias is crucial. It's something mandatory, and especially for our music business, it's 100% needed because there are millions of bands outside. So why should I listen to your band? No, I mean, why should I go and listen the band Windrose? There is no need. No, if if I tell you like this, no, why should I go? I don't know, because I don't know them. I don't know what to expect. I don't know how they look. I don't know who they are. And what happens? How do we bring new fans to our project? They see a reel simply on Instagram or on TikTok or wherever, and they just get catched with the attention by the costumes. Okay, boom, they get the costumes. Ah, what is this? Why they are dressing like this? What are they doing? Stuff like this. And then what happens? It happens that uh, it's time for let's say the for the music, you stay there more than 10 seconds, you realize that the music, wow, this music, you know what? It it sounds very, very good. We should, what is this band? And then you go on Spotify, you follow, and you maybe suddenly you become also a fan, maybe you go also to the concerts. This is the reason why we are so famous nowadays, is because we make a very, very good job, in my opinion, on social medias. Otherwise, it will not be the same, to be honest.
Particularly on a certain demographic, people who are under 20. I think that if you want to reach them, TikTok is definitely the best way to do it, and it has translated, of course, in a lot of streams in the case of Spotify. So clearly it has worked. Now, one of the things, not just in social media, but in any kind of algorithm based network, is that it really rewards you for what works. So that's why on YouTube, for example, you probably noticed that so many thumbnails look always kind of the same, because the algorithm rewards that sort of content. So the same thing happens on TikTok and Instagram. When you see that there are videos that have a video on top and like a piece of a video game playing at the bottom. Your TikTok is a good example of that, in the sense of trying to do what works. I even saw that you have an ASMR unboxing of your album. Sadly, you were not speaking like this to the microphone,
No,
just whispering,
no.
making
It
it very
was
erotic.
it was
But
Claudio making that.
but do you feel that this pressure also exists on you in trying to see? Well, there are a lot of things that we can do with our social media, but we have to kind of stick with what works.
On social medias, we stick to what works in terms of doing contents, because we see around, and we do what is working also for other platforms or for other businesses. That's in my opinion, the important thing, to have in mind clearly what you have to do, because otherwise, if you don't know what you have to do, uh, I mean, uh, it doesn't make any sense. No, you are making a work, you have to do it with some knowledge. Otherwise, the result will be of like some bands that they do, the videos, and they look like a little bit goofy. It looks it doesn't look good, no. So in my opinion, it's a language, the one of the social medias, that needs to be learned very good in terms of contents to put, etc. Otherwise you look old. And we are old too. I'm 35, but we had made a study behind it. Okay.
A few years ago, I remember talking with Lordi, this Finnish monster heavy metal band, and they got very successful after winning the Eurovision Song Contest with their song Hard Rock Hallelujah, and he mentioned that having reached that level of success in that space was kind of a blessing and a curse. A blessing in the sense that it put you in front of a lot of people that wouldn't have seen you otherwise, but a curse in the sense that people start to limit a lot what they expect you to create. So, for example, again, looking at your TikTok today, I noticed a video in which I believe it's you. You kind of mentioned how you've created 5 albums. Now, the sixth one is coming out. But what people keep asking for is Diggy Diggy Hole, this song from Joxcast that you covered. Do you feel that that has been, again, this blessing and a curse, that despite the diversity of the content that you've created, or rather, sorry, of the music and the art that you've created, you end up being kind of pigeonholed into this meme music thing?
To be honest, no. I don't see it like this. Yes, Diggy Diggy Hole. Probably they say, yeah, but the people know you for Diggy Diggy Hole. Yes, it's true, but they come to the show and they sing every song, and they come to the show. So at the end, it's that is my goal. No, so why should I regret what I have done? It will make no sense. We are happy to have released Diggy Diggy Hole because it gave us the opportunity to make good, to show the world who we are, and what else, I mean, is needed more than this. It would be not cool to, in my opinion, to regret something that is actually uh, very, very good, and not many bands can say and do the same in this world in one entire life. I mean, why should we regret? I mean, it will not be good. In my opinion, we made good like this, and the history was like this, and at the end, we understand that maybe this was our fate, no? So I don't take it bad.
You're about to release your sixth studio album, Troll Slayer. I saw that Claudio Falconcini was your guitar player. Was describing it as kind of an opera, telling this larger story through the songs. Can you tell me a little bit about the background of this album and of this story, this eternal struggle, I guess, between dwarves and trolls?
Troll Slayer is not actually something against or about the dwarves or trolls. It's something that is related to Warhammer, because the Troll Slayer, it's a dwarf that lost the honor. So in order to get back the honor, he has to find, the way to die in the most honorable way. Let's say that they are like a sort of martyrs for the dwarves, and this kind of dwarves look for the death against the biggest and strongest enemy they can fight. Obviously, it's their fate, but it's also their doom, because they're going to die. I mean, so and this death will bring them the honor back for them, for their family, for the so it's something that always intrigued me when I was playing Warhammer, and I wanted to make an album on this. Obviously, not the whole album is on this. We have also different, very different stories. We had one song, like for example, one of all Rock and Stone, that is becoming one of our biggest success. It's a song about, I mean, inspired by Deep Rock Galactic, that it's a video game about doors in the space.
I mean, you mentioned I saw that on the internet today. This issue of the Deep Rock Galactic game, but it's. I mean, you mentioned it's inspired, but it's kind of it's like a deal that you have with the company, right?
Yeah, I mean, yes, I mean, I said it's inspired, but it's a deal that we have with them, because we made a deal. I mean, they didn't made too much, for this. The deal was just, hey, we will use everything in our hands, to make it the best as we can. Uh, are you guys okay or not? Stuff like this. So for us, was something, was the opportunity to get more this uh, into this business as well, and also to make something for the community of this game, that for us is it's very, very cool.
It's an actual video game because there are a number of bands that are just kind of collaborating with kind of mobile games, and those are just these things where you end up paying like hundreds of euros for a piece of shit game. So at least Deep Rock Galactic is an actual game.
Yes, I mean, and it's also a good game, cooperative game. So, in my opinion, it's very good. And it depends on the game taste, what you like more.
Francesco, it has been such a pleasure to meet you, and I look forward to seeing you perform on tour. I know that on the 4th, the same day that you release your new album, it's also going to be the release. The beginning of your tour with Powerwolf and with Hammerfall. So I can imagine that you must be very tired, but also looking forward to what is, I am sure, is going to be an amazing heavy metal show that you're going to be putting out for your fans all over Europe.
We tried. We are. I mean, we are doing our best to give everyone a very, very good experience in this tour. And there will be also a lot of surprises, no? For the people that is old or new fans. Obviously, if you want to hear more than 35 minutes, you have to wait for the headliner tour, because this is not our tour, no? And so
You should see if you can get Oscar from Hammerfall to lend you his hammer guitar. He has a really cool guitar with the shape of the hammer, so maybe you can use it for Diggy Diggy Hole.
we should use it with the axe.
Francesco, thank you so much for your time, and I hope you have a very nice day.
Thank you for inviting me, and see you next time.